Well, teenagers convicted of murdering 16-year-old Brianna Ghey are due to be sentenced later on today.
The judge is set to release the names of the murderers, dubbed Boy X and Boy Y, arguing that there is, in fact, a strong public interest in lifting their anonymity.
Well, Mrs Justice Yip said people will want to know their identities to understand how such a heinous act was committed.
GB News reporter Sophie Reaper has more on this.
A deadly influence on one another. Words used to describe the two youths responsible for the murder of transgender teenager Brianna Ghey. In February of last year, the then 15-year-olds known as Girl X and Boy Y carefully plotted and executed their plan to kill, luring their victim to Culcheth Linear Park in Warrington under the pretence of taking drugs. There, Brianna would be stabbed 28 times with a hunting knife and then left to die. In their trial at Manchester Crown Court, the two teenagers turned against one another, each blaming the other for Brianna's death. But in the end, the jury found them both guilty of murder. Both of Brianna's parents were present throughout the trial, and after hearing the guilty verdicts, her father spoke out about the impact the death of his daughter had on him.
I wish I had been there to protect her, but that's something I must live with. The suffering from this horrific incident should never happen, and I hope no other family ever experience the torture this can bring.
Brianna's mother also gave a statement asking for people to show kindness to the families of her daughter's murderers.
Please have some empathy and compassion for the families of the young people convicted of this horrific crime. They too have lost a child, and they must live the rest of their lives knowing what their child has done.
Now, both Girl X and Boy Y face life sentences for their brutal murder of Brianna Ghey. Sophie Reaper, GB News.
Well, Peter Blexley is still with us. Say what I'm struck by, Peter, in that is the response of Brianna's mother, actually, showing a huge amount of sympathy for the parents of the perpetrators.
Quite remarkable level of forgiveness, compassion and dignity. I have had the great honour of spending a lot of time with victims who have lost a loved one to murder, and quite frankly, it is those people that get the true life sentence. It is the loved ones that are left behind that have that sense of loss that will never, ever disappear. And whilst in some circumstances time makes people more able to cope, it does not strip away the pain, nor does it take away the loss.